It is said that university life is one of the most unforgettable movies in every person's memory. A new student was surrounded by girls, they even created a social account for him. He was treated like an idol at the university. This third-year student worked his ass out to pay tuition fee, so he usually dropped off during class. How was he life when he did 2 part-time jobs? This girl was an ordinary student. She got the average score, and her family was not rich nor poor. How about her student life? 3 of them are different types of students. It seemed that their world wasn't the same nor related to each other. Who knew they would become a missing piece of each other? Let's see what brought them together. Jun was well known at his university for his handsomeness and rich. He even knew how to please his seniors. Not only girls but also boys really want to be friends with him. Jun had a bright look and always smiled at people. It was easy for him to make friends by giving them money. As for him, it was fine when they befriended him for money. He only needed to be surrounded by friends. No one knew about a secret of someone who was hailed by his friends like Jun. He was abandoned by his parents. The only way to escape from his cold home was to party with his fake friends. One day, Jun met a guy who would change his life. His friend told him not to touch that guy. He was known as a freak there. His name was Soin, a third-year student. No one could approach and talk to him. When the lecturer carried out a roll call, Soin was still sleeping. Jun didn't care about his friend's warnings. He tried to wake Soin up, however, he dropped his coffee cup on Sohyun's shoes by accident. He was so panicked and about to fix his mistake, yet, Sohyun didn't allow. Sohyun didn't care about his shoes. Jun felt very sorry. After class, he wanted to pay damages to Sohyun. Money was Jun's confidence. Sohyun refused his compensation. He even said Jun was a human ATM who lived with a fake smile. Being under the lash, Jun was impressed with Sohyun. At night, Jun's friends asked to see him at a club. They wanted him to pay for the beers and fruits. One of his friends was Ji, a third-year student having crush on him. She was extremely dissatisfied when they want an after-party, because she didn't want Jun to pay for them. As she was Youngho's crush, Jun didn't want to have anything to do with her. They resolved their argument, then he went to buy a drinking fluids. Ji followed him. She expressed her care for him, yet, he could cleverly reject it, without destroying their friendship. He easily made her listen. Coincidentally, Sohyun was working at the convenience store. Sohyun thought Jun was a lady killer. Jun used a golden card to make friends with Sohyun. Sohyun hated people like Jun the most. Jun still smiled when Sohyun criticized him. Jun hoped they would meet again. It wasn't easy to meet someone straightforward like Sohyun, though Jun tried to make friends with many people, yet, he didn't stay too close to them. They didn't want to let these drunken guys stay in his home, so he lied that his parents were home. After seeing them off, Jun went home in a cab. Meanwhile, Sohyun was still working. Their living conditions were totally different. The following day at school, a girl threw herself into his bosom. She was a third-year student named Sobin. She kept saying sorry. Jun still kept a smile on his face. He thought Sobin had a crush on him. There was a reason why she came to the faculty office. Sobin asked Professor Song's assistant professor to help her work as a document collector for Professor. As she didn't obtain much experience, she was afraid of finding no job. Professor Song was famous. It would be a plus for her CV if she could work for Professor Song. The assistant professor was confused as someone had already taken over it. It was Jun, a first-year student. Once Sobin could persuade him to give it up, the assistant would introduce Sobin to Professor Song. A party for new students would be held. Sobin could apply for a position of an instructor to make friends with Jun. Her close friend named Chan-ki. They were Soohyun's classmates and afraid of him. Chan-ki ran away when Soohyun was also applying for the position of an instructor. Sobin went on the MT alone. She kept staring at Jun. Thus, he was sure that she had feelings for him. At night, newbies played hard, and left a mess for the third-year students to clean. Sobin asked Soohyun about his scores. Last year, they worked together for a group assignment. He got an A+, while she got a low score though she sent him her research. Soohyun didn't receive her email, so he thought she didn't do it. A drunk newbie made a mess. Soohyun had to take him inside. Sobin wanted to help him, yet, Soohyun left her there with Jun. Taking this opportunity, Jun asked why she kept staring at him, as it made him touched. Before Sobin explained it to him, Jun was asked to get inside the tent. It was Jun's drunken friend. Jun grabbed the chance to befriend Soohyun. Soohyun knew Jun felt lonely. That was why he needed people surround him despite fake friendship. Soohyun touched the right chord. Jun said Soohyun daren't make friends with anyone due to his poverty. Soohyun didn't care about him. Sangtae asked for a talk with Yeo-jun. He got drunk because his crush rejected his love. His crush had feelings for Yeo-jun. It led to a fight between them. When Yeo-jun got a punch, he recalled his childhood's memories. He was too stunned to do anything. Sobin helped him out. Soo-hyun dragged Sangtae away. Sobin took Yeo-jun to a corner and treated his wounds. He asked her why she started at him. It was a chance to talk about her purpose. She knew she shouldn't take away his chance, yet, she lacked experiences to ask for a job. While Yeo-jun still had time, unexpectedly, he agreed to give it to her, on the condition that she would be his true friend. After finishing everything, Soo-hyun checked on his inbox, and found Sobin's research in the spam folder. He went to find her the following day. Sorry for not checking the spam folder. It was bygone, so Soo-hyun no longer felt sad. However, she still wanted her efforts to be recognized. Soo-hyun promised to make it up for her. Yeo-jun suddenly showed up and asked her to act as his true friend, by playing bungee with him. Sobin was afraid of heights. She closed her eyes on the bridge, for the sake of her own. She could not help but comply with his request. Yeo-jun no longer faked his attitude. He convinced her to jump with him. After they were tied together, Yeo-jun hugged Sobin and jumped, experiencing the thrills and spills in a close distance. Sobin had feelings for him. The following day, Yeo-jun promised to give Sobin his position. There, he encountered his brother, who wasn't close to him. His brother was working as a professor at the university, so he asked Yeo-jun to act like they didn't know each other, which was witnessed by Yeo-jun. At night in Yeo-jun's cold home, he suffered the loneliness while Soo-hyun was working tiredly. He had a close friend named Youngran. She loved to drink beers and confide in him. Soo-hyun had a couple of hours to sleep before going to school. However, the lecturer gave them a sudden day off. Instead of coming home, Yeo-jun waited for Soo-hyun. He insisted on making friends with Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun was bored of him. He couldn't cut off the tail. Sobin showed up during their conversation. It was a chance for Soo-hyun to leave. Sobin wanted to ask Yeo-jun why he didn't come to the faculty office the previous day to transfer his position to her. Yeo-jun didn't fail to keep his words. He was just confused after encountering his brother, so he forgot to come. After that, he took her to meet the assistant professor for the transfer. Sobin got what she wanted. After that, they left school under an umbrella. He leaned the umbrella towards her and his arm got wet. Soo-hyun just returned to his small place. He also had a rebellious younger brother. Seeing their simple meal, Soo-hyun remembered Yeo-jun's wallet. That meant he was also impressed with Soo-hyun. They disparaged each other's life, yet, they also wished for the something from one another which they didn't have. Soo-hyun wanted a well-off life, while Yeo-jun wished to escape from loneliness. No need to ask the others to care about him. Sobin lived in a dorm, coincidentally. Youngran was her roommate. She even asked rich kid Minju to massage her leg. After pleasing Youngran, Sobin came to see Professor Song to take the job. The professor showed contempt for Sobin, who still had no outstanding achievements in her third year. She accepted her thanks to Yeo-jun's request. Actually, she chose Yeo-jun as she liked his older brother. When Sobin returned to her dorm, Youngran comforted her with bar snacks. Miju had no mood to join after breaking up with her boyfriend. On the other side, Youngho and Cheong-kook somehow found Yeo-jun's condo. Even though he refused, they stormed in and broke his privacy. He began to feel tired of pretending to be friendly. Only when seeing Sobin, he could really smile. She wasn't confident enough to be Professor Song's assistant. He encouraged her to believe in herself. She thought he was such an unpredictable person. He was different from the one she heard about. Coming to class, Yeo-jun no longer sit beside Youngho and Cheong-kook. He bought Soo-hyun coffee, but he refused. Soo-hyun relocated to avoid bothers. The lecturer announced that the final exam would be a group exercise. They would choose their own partners. Yeo-jun proposed to be in the same group with Soo-hyun. Youngho and Cheong-kook also asked the same. After class, Soo-hyun asked Sobin to join his group. In front of Youngho and Cheong-kook, he told her that they were too lazy to work in a team. Soo-hyun needed someone who was as hardworking and reliable as Sobin. Having a meeting at a cafe, everyone nominated Soo-hyun for the leader. Youngho nominated himself as he was the eldest. When Sobin talked about the topic of the presentation, she was qualified to be a leader. Youngho was so discontent when Soo-hyun was the first one to leave. Haiji and her friend struck a conversation with Soo-hyun. They wanted him to buy them a meal. She gave him a chance to her friend, but he said she was begging for food. From then on, no one talked to him. Yeo-jun was so happy as Soo-hyun treated everybody the same. He was in a very good mood until he received his mother's call. She wanted him to get home. They were going to welcome a precious guest. She even told him to leave right after the dinner because no one there welcomed him. what she said hurt him a lot. At night when he was on the balcony for some fresh air, he saw the neighbor living opposite. He didn't know that his neighbor was Soo-hyun's best friend. Chan-ki taught Yeo-jun how to breathe to alleviate fatigue. Chan-ki was a lady killer who invited many girls home. After resuming his spirits, Yeo-jun chose for himself a suit to see his parents. It was a group meeting the following morning. Only 3 members attended. So-bin tried to persuade the other 3 to come, but they didn't reply to her, though she knew they were irresponsible. So-bin accepted to cover their parts. Soo-hyun felt unhappy about that. He thought he didn't fit in with this group, so he packed his things and left. Right at that time, Young-ho and Cheong-kook came. Under the influence, they insulted Soo-hyun. So-bin reminded them of their manners. Yeo-jun also tried to stop them. Young-ho shoved Yeo-jun to the ground, and told Yeo-jun to be just a stupid rich kid, when Soo-hyun was about to leave. Young-ho gave him a punch. Yeo-jun screamed to stop a fight. So-bin treated Soo-hyun's wound, making his promise as an excuse. She asked him not to leave the group. Yeo-jun agreed on a condition that So-bin must divide the tasks evenly. Those who didn't do the tasks would get a 0. She promised not to be weak anymore. On the way home, Yeo-jun encountered his brother. Jun-won drove him home to see their parents. During the meal, Yeo-jun put on a wig to cover his blonde hair. His dad wasn't pleased with that. He thought Yeo-jun was useless. His cold brother was also obliged to be perfect. That was why Jun-won was so emotionless. Both Yeo-jun and Jun-won must defer to their parents' wish. Jun-won was successful yet emotionless, while Yeo-jun was seeking for fake concern, so he wouldn't feel abandoned. After the meal, Yeo-jun's father gave him a punch. His mother caressed his red cheek, and wished he wouldn't appear in her life. She just needed an excellent son. She was angrier when seeing his blonde hair. Yeo-jun begged his mother not to abandon him, yet, she still kicked him out of home. Yeo-jun asked Jun-won to drive him to a hair salon. However, Jun-won was so silent. Yeo-jun got off the car. He asked his friends out for a drink. When he was dead drunk, his friends were worried if they had to pay. They were envy of his wealthy. Yeo-jun felt sad hearing them. Standing on the bank of a river, he pled Soo-hyun to come or he would take his own life. As Soo-hyun was on his shift, he called So-bin. So-bin went out to find him. Yeo-jun blew his brains in her lap with a smile. He wished she would like him. Because no one except her would really have feelings for him, So-bin said sorry to him, because she had feelings for someone else. When she was so confused, Soo-hyun came and carried him. They asked Yeo-jun's friends about his address. They opened the door with Yeo-jun's fingerprints. Soo-hyun washed his shirt because Yeo-jun threw up on it earlier. Soo-hyun compared Yeo-jun's toilet with his one. Their life was like night and day. Waking up, Yeo-jun saw 2 left glasses of water, and remembered that they took him home the previous night. The slippers in the bathroom wasn't on their places, hair in the sink. He knew he vomited on someone. Checking on his phone, he realized that he had bothered Soo-hyun and So-bin the previous night. Coming to school, Yeo-jun felt very uncomfortable when So-bin looked close with Chan-ki. Jun-won was observing Yeo-jun from afar while Yeo-jun was staring at So-bin. Professor Song thought he had feelings for So-bin, so that she told So-bin to allure men who could help her reach the goal. So-bin didn't get what was going on. So-bin endured it to keep her job. When Yeo-jun came to the class, his friends acted like nothing happened. They still acted as his best friends, yet, Yeo-jun only kept his eyes on Soo-hyun. He talked to Soo-hyun for 18 seconds. Yeo-jun wondered if he himself said something stupid. After class, he ran after Soo-hyun, but he lost sight of him on the campus, so he went to the canteen and had lunch with So-bin. Yeo-jun wondered who was her crush. So-bin thought he didn't remember what he said the previous night when he asked about her crush. After lunch, he took her to his secret hideout, a quiet place next to a spectacular lake. So-bin said her crush was Chan-ki. She was about to confess her love to him. At night, she went to Chan-ki's home, but he was partying somewhere. So-bin didn't mind to act as a housewife. She helped him do chores. Yeo-jun saw her hanging the clothes on the balcony. It was when he knew she was Chan-ki's close friend. So-bin texted Yeo-jun. She asked him to help her choose a beautiful dress for her love confession. Though Yeo-jun didn't like it, he still agreed with her. He chose a hairpin and yellow dress for her. So-bin didn't let him pay for her dress. He was so sad when seeing the bracelet that Chan-ki gave her. She wanted to buy him a meal as her thanks. Ice cream was enough to make him happy. He saw Chan-ki from the opposite balcony. Talking for a while, Yeo-jun knew Chan-ki would invite a girl home the following day. So he told So-bin to confess her love to Chan-ki tomorrow. He wanted to show her how bad her crush was. During the group meeting, everyone was amazed by her new appearance. After the meeting, she bought scented candles for a romantic evening. she went to Chan-ki's home but he wasn't home. While waiting for him, she arranged everything beautifully. His girlfriend went there. Sobin said she entered the wrong home and ran away. Going downstairs, she encountered Chan-ki on his way home. His girlfriend chased after to give her back the handbag. Yeo-jun called when she felt too confused. For this reason, she lied to Chan-ki that she was going to Yeo-jun's home, yet she came to Chan-ki's one as a habit. Leaving the building, she remembered her childhood with Chan-ki, the bracelet that he gave her when they were 8 years old. She still kept it. Sobin then went to Yeo-jun's home in tears. After all those years, she couldn't confess her love to the one she loved. Yeo-jun couldn't stand it when her heart was broken, so he asked her to use him to forget Chan-ki. Sobin agreed with him. That was what he had been waiting for. Then he broke her bracelet. They stood on the balcony opposite Chan-ki's home, seeing Sobin with another guy. Chan-ki felt weird. He didn't want her to have a boyfriend. Yeo-jun claimed she was his girlfriend. Chan-ki felt lost. When they entered the room, Chan-ki's ex-girlfriend came and stood next to him. They broke up last month. She came to take her stuff. She reminded him that if he continued to be close to Sobin, he wouldn't get married. Chan-ki smiled. He didn't need to get married. Sobin was still so sad. Yeo-jun took her to the dorm. On the way there, Chan-ki called her. Yeo-jun grabbed her phone and rejected his call. He told her to act like Soo-hyun. To avoid being bothered, she should be cold. They repeated Soo-hyun's words along the way. To earn money to help his brother go to the police academy, Soo-hyun found for more jobs. However, they didn't accept a student like him. He choked when having rice balls to fill his empty stomach. His brother told Youngran that Soo-hyun was working for a job which could cover expenses for food and housing. She came to find him in anger, but when she saw him tired, she felt extremely sorry for him. Youngran didn't want him to harm his health. She asked her friend to give him a job. The following day, an old friend found Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun wasn't close the one who was pursuing Youngran. Suddenly, he came to give Soo-hyun a job. He came to the company at the address. The allowances were good. There is also free accommodation. When he heard that someone helped him get the job, Soo-hyun decided to work in a construction site instead. Youngran went mad and she came to the site to question him. He told her that he didn't want her to owe the guy whom she rejected his love by doing what she hated. Anyways, he didn't want to owe her anything, favor and do things that she did not want. He was afraid that he owed her a favor, because he didn't have time nor money to repay her. Youngran felt helpless about her persistence. She had no choice but to let him suffer it alone. The following day, Soo-hyun's brother came to the school to find him. He fell in love with Miju at first sight. Her beauty made him too confused to stumble. To save his face, he just did push-ups. It made the girls there laugh out loud. He kept his eyes at Miju. At the same time, Soo-hyun was looking for his brother. On the way, he encountered Yeo-jun, who was so happy when they wore matching clothes. Soo-hyun immediately took off his shirt and lashed out at Yeo-jun. Yet, Yeo-jun liked it. He insisted on Soo-hyun to buy him a meal. When Soo-hyun was about to say something, he saw his brother was showing off himself in front of many girls. When Soo-min stood up, Miju friends suggested her to ask him to be a model for her designs. Soo-min got excited, yet Soo-hyun stopped him from rolling his shirt to show his abs. Miju was surprised when seeing Soo-hyun. To keep Soo-hyun from mistaking, she said she didn't ask Soo-min to take off his shirt. Soo-hyun didn't care about that. She would let it go as long as it was. Yeo-jun greeted Soo-hyun and his brother. Soo-min was surprised when his cold brother had a beautiful friend. He thought his brother made Yeo-jun befriend him. Soo-min then asked for a meal to reduce his hunger. Soo-hyun finally bought Yeo-jun a meal. Yeo-jun was very happy and he chose an affordable meal. Soo-hyun was a warm brother. He cared about Soo-min a lot. It made Yeo-jun, who lacked of family care, both envy and admire. While Soo-hyun went to the toilet, Soo-min noticed the expensive watch on Yeo-jun's wrist. He said it was a nice watch and Yeo-jun gave it to him. After the meal, Yeo-jun was amazed at Soo-hyun's warmth. He claimed that Soo-hyun would call him tomorrow. Then he called Sobin. Remembering the time Yeo-jun flirting with other girls, Soo-hyun thought he was seducing Sobin. Sobin was absent from the group meeting. Soo-hyun temporarily led the team. He was sure that Hyeji's handed over a material copied from somewhere. She was Youngho's crush, so Youngho turned mad at Soo-hyun. He threatened Soo-hyun with his punch. Soo-hyun roused Youngho. Hyeji parted with her group. The other two followed her. Yeo-jun didn't know whom to take side with. In the end, he chose to stay with Soo-hyun. To prove that his abilities deserved to stay in the group, Yeo-jun volunteered to take over the other three's parts, because that document was related to his father's company. Soo-hyun didn't really trust him. He just asked him not to play with Sobin's heart. They paid for the coffee and left. Yeo-jun wrote down his wish on the note, then memorized it and called his father's company to ask for documents. His father happily agreed as he thought it was Jun-wan. However, he changed his attitude when hearing it was Yeo-jun. It was like a big attack on Yeo-jun. Speaking of So-bin, she screamed with joy when her assignment won a prize. She asked the assistant to speak high of her with Professor Song. Another student also assisted Professor Song. He claimed that So-bin could win thanks to his help with the documents. Professor Song didn't care whether it was true or not. She gave him the scholarship that should have belonged to So-bin. Soo-hyun was so tired of taking on a heavy workload, his old friends even came to bother him. They didn't buy water but dropped the drinks on purpose to make him clean. Youngran caught the second bottle when they dropped it. She gave it back to Young-ho, and when he took it, she trembled on his foot and knocked him on the head. Young-ho screamed when she trembled on his foot. Before he could fight back, she gave him a kick on his balls. He was even pressed down by Youngran's friends. Young-ho and his friends no longer made a noise. Soo-hyun returned home tiredly and saw his brother holding a thick wad of money. He asked how Soo-min got the amount. Soo-min lied that he was paid to do a part-time job. Couldn't fool his own brother. Soo-min had to tell the truth, that he sold the watch Yeo-jun gave him. Soo-hyun didn't want to take the amount, so he went to Yeo-jun's condo. He apologized because Soo-min used most of the amount to pay for the rental. He asked for a time to pay back the money, yet, Yeo-jun didn't need him to pay. He just wanted him to treat him the same way as he treated Soo-min. Yeo-jun admitted that no one was sincere with him. Soo-hyun couldn't pay Yeo-jun back the whole amount, so he decided to befriend Yeo-jun. As usual, Chan-ki followed So-bin after she got off work. However, she no longer considered him a friend. Chan-ki told her not to totally trust Yeo-jun. He explained to her about the girl coming to his home the other day. She remembered everything she had been through. So-bin didn't believe that he wanted to hurt her, so she asked him for a talk in his secret hideout. Yeo-jun admitted that he lied to show her the truth about Chan-ki as soon as possible, but she thought he considered her a fool. So-bin no longer wanted to be his friend. So-bin herself wasn't happy with what she just said. Peach blossoms bloomed beautiful, yet, both of them was down in the dump. Hearing the phone ringer, he thought So-bin changed her mind. The caller was his drinking companion. At the party, Yeo-jun showed his boredom. Hae-ji held his arm. She wanted to be in a relationship with him, but he said nothing. Staying home alone, he asked Soo-hyun for his suggestion. How do I apologize to someone I hurt? Though Soo-hyun was very tired and busy, he still gave Yeo-jun a kindly advice. You should tell her sincere words in person. Hanging up the phone, he hurriedly ran to So-bin's dorm and called out her name, which surprised her roommates. Yeo-jun sincerely apologized to his crush. It was his fault to hurt her. Could she forgive him? He wanted to hear her answer when she thought carefully, then ran away after confessing his feelings. On the construction site, Soo-hyun blacked out due to overwork. When Yeo-jun called him back, he heard that he was taken to the hospital. Feeling pity for Soo-hyun, Yeo-jun bought him a special treatment. Soo-hyun wanted to leave because he didn't want to owe Yeo-jun again. Yeo-jun said the debt was cleared off, because Yeo-jun changed his mind about relationship thanks to him. Hence, he decided to stick with Soo-hyun no matter what. Soo-hyun said Yeo-jun was like a monkey clinging on the others for fun. He was busy earning money, no time to make friends with Yeo-jun. Yeo-jun didn't care what he said. He paid for the hospital fees though, couldn't pay it back. Soo-hyun received the treatment from the nurse. Yeo-jun came home and browsed on the internet for diets for malnourished people. The following day, Yeo-jun bought Soo-hyun a meal. However, he left the hospital and rejected Yeo-jun's calls. Soo-hyun came back to the construction, pleading the boss to let him continue his work. However, he couldn't allow due to his health. Soo-hyun lost his job, so he gotta find another. However, no one accepted a student like him. Until late at night, Soo-hyun told his mother not to worry about Soo-min's tuition fee. He could drop out of school, but his mother did not agree. Yeo-jun was so worried when he couldn't reach Soo-hyun on the phone. He texted his brother to ask for the documents to do his research. So-bin remembered Yeo-jun's confession while typing her assignment. She unconsciously typed his confession. Her sigh woke up Young-ran. They grabbed a drink together. Young-ran really wanted to help Soo-hyun, yet, he always refused her goodwill. Mi-ju was loving him one-sided. Three of them were having troubles. They decided to be single and eat hot dogs for their whole lives. The next day at school, So-bin saw Yeo-jun being surrounded by many girls. She thought they weren't a good match. So-bin was about to walk towards him, yet, she ran away when he saw her, lying on the bench. Chan-ki cried when watching a movie, because the male lead was similar to him. They failed to conquer the hearts of their crushes. After much thought, he decided to see Yeo-jun. he wasn't seeking for a quarrel. Instead, he told Yeo-jun about So-bin's hobbies. He remembered all her favorite dishes. Yeo-jun. After a talk with Chan-ki, Yeo-jun took courage to ask his brother for the documents. Junwon did give those to him on a condition that he wouldn't join the family party the following week. He knew that neither his parents nor his brother disliked him, yet, he made sure to join the party to remind them that Yeo-jun was their family member, though none of them recognized him. Yeo-jun just grabbed the folder and left. Soo-hyun saw Yeo-jun leaving the professor's room. He guessed they were brothers, so why did Yeo-jun say he was a single child? Yeo-jun encountered So-bin soon later. He was ready to hear her answer. She didn't really reject his love, she just felt like she barely knew about him. Yeo-jun asked if she wanted to know more about him. She shyly agreed to get to know more about him. It didn't mean she liked him. Haiji got angry seeing Yeo-jun smiled at So-bin. On the way back to the class, Yeo-jun kept texting Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun was right behind him. Then he just passed Yeo-jun by. Yeo-jun was afraid that Soo-hyun would faint again. The lecturer heard him by chance. At the end of the class, he saw Yeo-jun following Soo-hyun. He thought they were in love. Soo-hyun didn't take Yeo-jun's hospital fee. Yet, he was interested in the documents Yeo-jun got after just a night. He returned the hospital fee to Yeo-jun. Yeo-jun thought he borrowed money from a usurer. Soo-hyun didn't tell about what he was doing. He just didn't want to owe anyone. So-bin brought a bouquet to Professor Song as a thanks. She wanted to be her secretary after her assignment won. In the professor's room, Young-beom swapped her assignment. When the professor asked who wrote the assignment, he claimed it was him. So-bin became the focus of interests. People thought she was dating Yeo-jun. Haiji was the one who hated her the most. Teacher Park brought a pot of plant into Professor Song's room. Therefore, he accidentally read a passage on her computer. He realized that this was So-bin's assignment because he had helped her edit her paper. A professor shouldn't copy a student's works. So-bin asked Yeo-jun for a talk. She wanted him to correct the rumor. Yeo-jun wasn't happy with her request because he really wanted to date her. However, his persistence unintentionally pushed So-bin into troubles. The other girls said So-bin was a coaxer. She remembered her childhood when she was isolated due to her cheating father. Her trauma caused her a short of breath. Yeo-jun was sitting with his insincere friends. Haiji asked him if he was really dating So-bin. He denied it to keep So-bin safe. Haiji took the chance to speak ill of So-bin, which annoyed Yeo-jun and he left. Young-ho got bitter about that. He played dirty to destroy the presentation of Soo-hyun's group. Somehow they picked up Soo-hyun's notebook. Yeo-jun called So-bin and got worried when hearing her gasp. He searched for her around the school. He found her sitting alone in a quiet corner. She pushed his hand away and told him to stay away from her as far as possible. It would be better not to know everything about each other. Yeo-jun was stunned. He felt that anyone around him hit a losing streak. Perhaps what his mother said was true. As long as he didn't exist, people would feel at ease. So-bin did nothing wrong to Professor Song. But she refused to let So-bin be her secretary. Young-ho and his friends went to the bar where Young-ran was working at. They told her not to befriend Soo-hyun as he only wrung money from people. Young-ran got annoyed. She wanted to beat him up, yet, her manager stopped it. Late at night, Yeo-jun came when three of them was dead drunk. As usual, he was going to pay but Young-ran asked him not to. Because he didn't drink at all, she asked if he was close with Soo-hyun. Yeo-jun admitted that Soo-hyun didn't like him. Though Young-ran was his close friend, she rarely met him, but she was still happy because she was his only friend. When three of Yeo-jun's insincere friends were going home, one of them dropped his backpack. Yeo-jun discovered that they kept Soo-hyun's notebook. He took the notebook and Soo-hyun called him right at that time. He thought Soo-hyun was making a wrong call. However, Soo-hyun asked him out for a meal. Yeo-jun threw the bag to the ground and ran away. Turns out Soo-hyun was working at a restaurant. He already paid for the meal and let Yeo-jun enjoy it alone. Yeo-jun couldn't have a bite seeing Soo-hyun serve the others. Yeo-jun waited until Soo-hyun got off work. Soo-hyun asked him there to see how busy he was. Whenever he saw Yeo-jun, he couldn't stop compare their backgrounds. They were like day and night. He didn't want to see Yeo-jun, who gave him a feeling of low self-esteem. Yeo-jun thought they would finally have a meal together. Who knew Soo-hyun just wanted to prove how poor he was, and required Yeo-jun to stay away from him. Yeo-jun thanked for the meal and left. In fact, Soo-hyun wasn't happy to say so. His life seemed hopeless, so he didn't want anyone to be interested in him. The next day in the class, Yeo-jun had to choose a group to give a presentation. Soo-hyun and So-bin wanted grouped with him. However, Yeo-jun chose Young-ho's group. he came back to the old life with the insincere friends. They only cared about what food Yeo-jun would buy them. Yeo-jun felt so lonely while they gossiping. So-bin was sad about Yeo-jun and the reason why Professor Song kicked her out. Soo-hyun told her to directly ask the professor for the reason why. Thanks to his advice, So-bin directly asked the professor why she was out. The professor said she was out of tune for her from the beginning. She thought she was incompetent yet tried to take away someone's opportunity. So-bin couldn't accept it because she did nothing wrong. It was the professor who was mean. After school, Soo-hyun went to work. Young-ho kept bothering him during work. It annoyed the restaurant manager, and in order to keep peace for his restaurant, so he fired Soo-hyun. Yeo-jun rushed there when he heard the news. Seeing Soo-hyun pleading the manager and crying in a dark corner, Yeo-jun felt so sorry. He decided not to bother him anymore. Soo-hyun saw him when he was leaving. He wanted to know why he was still there. Yeo-jun changed his attitude. The first time he dared to express his anger and true feelings. Young-ran saw their fight. When she was about to interfere, she realized that he had no place to stay overnight by looking at his bag. She called him to show her care. He went to the library for studying without picking up her phone, and he stayed there overnight for a sleep. Young-ran silently put a bottle of vitamin next to him. Meanwhile, Yeo-jun didn't sleep a wink as he couldn't get Yeo-jun out of his head. He doubted his own way of living. Would there be anyone who liked him? In the art room, Mi-ju was drawing Soo-hyun. At the dormitory, So-bin couldn't sleep either. She felt regretted saying harsh words to Yeo-jun, while Young-ran wished to have her own home which would be a place for Soo-hyun to sleep. The next day, So-bin decided to make up with Yeo-jun by buying hyacinth flowers for him. She didn't know how to express her feelings, thus, she wanted him to search for the flower's meaning. Then, she just ran away with shyness. Yeo-jun was extremely amazed by its meaning. It meant an eternal love or a sincere apology. He thought she meant the first meaning. So-bin suddenly returned and asked him to group with her again. Because the document he gave Soo-hyun was very important, he deserved high scores. On the lecture hall next day, So-bin was stopped by the rival group. They forced her to give them Yeo-jun's documents, as those were confidential which they couldn't find online. They needed those to get higher scores. When So-bin was getting scared, Yeo-jun helped her out, no longer having regard for those fake friends. He shouted at Haiji and took no notice of Young-ho's warnings. He announced to leave the group. Both of them then went to see Soo-hyun. Apparently Soo-hyun told So-bin to convince Yeo-jun to return to the group. However, Soo-hyun still acted cold when Yeo-jun returned. So-bin didn't know what to do with them. She made an excuse to go out buying coffee. In the meantime, Professor Song lashed out at Young-beom for stealing So-bin's. He still shamelessly claimed that he helped So-bin with the assignment. That was why he had the right to give Song Suk-young. She felt it was funny. However, she copied a passage of So-bin's assignment to make her own. Therefore, she couldn't kick Young-beom out. It was too late to regret kicking So-bin out. Yeo-jun excitedly brought So-bin ice cream. When he called her, she said she was in a class. Couldn't go out. Yeo-jun had to give a teacher the ice cream. He confided in his teacher about friendship. The teacher gave Yeo-jun an extremely practical advice as a thanks for his ice cream. Strong will could win bad hearts and bodies. Returning home, Yeo-jun showed Chonki the flowers that So-bin gave him. Chonki wasn't jealous as she once gave him a bigger pot of flowers. That upset Yeo-jun. Yet, he was happy again when looking up for the meaning of the flower, because the tree only means she just wished Chonki a good health while she wanted an eternal love with Yeo-jun. Chonki wanted to tell Yeo-jun more about So-bin's habits. Yeo-jun refused because he wanted to find out by himself. Young-ran went to the library to find Soo-hyun. He left the bottle of vitamin there with a note. Soo-hyun didn't drink it as he didn't know whose it was. He continued finding for another job. Luck wasn't take his side. The owner gave him a job but not a place to sleep. Looking at himself in the mirror, Soo-hyun saw the recruitment of drug sellers. He remembered Yeo-jun once begged him not to sell drug no matter what. Healthy is everything and Soo-hyun knew that. Though he was busy, he didn't ignore his studying. However, he still arrived at the group meeting later than the other two members. Although Yeo-jun was very concerned about Soo-hyun's condition, he still picked a quarrel with Soo-hyun. They argued though So-bin was there. She felt awkward as they didn't yield to each other. At the end of the group meeting, Soo-hyun still didn't find a place to stay overnight. The canteen owner asked him back to work and they had a place for him to live. After he fired the bossy manager, it made the headlines when the recordings of the manager's confession to fire Soo-hyun for monopolizing the staff bedroom. So who released that recording? Soo-hyun remembered he saw Yeo-jun leaving the restaurant that night. He called Yeo-jun without thinking but he didn't pick up the phone. He was staying with So-bin. Anyways, he was bored of hearing Soo-hyun mention his wish not to owe anyone. Yeo-jun took So-bin back to her previous kindergarten where left her with a trauma. Her friends laughed at her due to her cheating father. He took her there to face the past, not to torture herself. She could only get out of it and live for future once she healed herself. So-bin listened to him and admitted in tears that she was so scared. The moment she hugged her younger self was also the moment she healed herself. A traumatized person like Yeo-jun was able to help another get out of her past. When Yeo-jun knew down a leaf falling on Yeo-jun's head, So-bin gently stroked his hair without knowing that he was very sensitive with his hair. He reacted to it. To escape the awkward situation, he asked her to play a game. Who reached the dorm first would do another a favor. Then they had a happy race. Yeo-jun no longer felt lonely at home. As the pot of flour So-bin gave him was like his friend, the assistant professor discovered that Professor Song copied her student's assignment. When she brought the professor a stuff, she mentioned So-bin's assignment, which was like an itch to Song. Song used the job opportunity to threaten her assistant. "Keep your mouth shut if you still want to be a lecturer." The assistant got out of there in fear. Professor Song also freaked out. Speaking of Young-ho and his friends, they knew they couldn't get high scores with their abilities, so they wanted to group with Suin and his members again, and they thought So-bin was still as shy as she was before. However, she flatly refused despite their attack on her. She knew they were trying to get higher scores. Young-ho swore not to forgive them on the day of the presentation. Thanks to Yeo-jun's documents and the members' analytical skill, all of them got an A. Young-ho didn't accept the result as he thought only Soo-hyun work it out. Then he posed a question to So-bin. It was part of their presentation. The previous night, she had her friend watch her laptop while she was going to the toilet. Unexpectedly, her friend copied the presentation. Young-ho and his friends smiled with joy as they knew So-bin got stage fright. Looking at the crowd, So-bin was panicked. Yeo-jun nodded as an encourage. She just healed herself so that she regained her motivation, and gave Young-ho a detailed answer to his question. It was So-bin herself who worked on the part, so she not only knew the answer very well, but also knew the deep meaning behind it. Young-ho couldn't pick holes in it while the teacher was satisfied. The teacher gave Soo-hyun's group 3A while Young-ho's 1 got no grades. At the end of the class, Young-ho blamed Soo-hyun for setting him up. Soo-hyun and So-bin didn't quail before his threats. Yeo-jun also cut off relations with Haiji. The group of 3 gave each other high fives. For the first time, Yeo-jun felt the real friendship. Speaking of Miju, she decided to take a meal in the canteen when seeing Soo-hyun working there, despite that she was trying to lose weight. However, he didn't remember who she was. She was a little sad, yet, the meal tasted well when she was in love. Youngran was very happy when Soo-hyun finally picked up her phone. Miju saw Youngran put her arm around Soo-hyun's shoulders, then she realized that Soo-hyun was Youngran's crush. In the meantime, So-bin and Yeo-jun were grabbing a drink as a celebration. So-bin under the influence was like a cute cat coddling herself next to Yeo-jun. She picked up a leave on his head again. This time he didn't resist but felt scared that he would deeply fall in love with her. Yet he wasn't mature enough to make her happy. So-bin did an action that he could never forget for the rest of his life. The distance between them was getting closer and closer. Yeo-jun pulled her into his lap. He mustered all the courage to approach her lips. Yeo-jun was about to scare her, but she kissed him on her own initiative. She finally gave him a chance to be with her. Yeo-jun carried her on his back to the dorm with a happy face. They didn't even want to say goodbye. After seeing her off, Yeo-jun received Soo-hyun's call. Being in a good mood, he immediately agreed on the condition that Soo-hyun must call Youngran and ask her to take care of So-bin. Soo-hyun did call Youngran. So-bin brought herself back when her roommates were going to find her. Outside, Soo-hyun thanked Yeo-jun for the recordings, seeing Soo-hyun smile for the first time. Yeo-jun agreed to make up with him. Waking up in the next morning, So-bin regretted about her action. She couldn't get the sudden kiss out of her head. Yeo-jun was in a dream. He imagined So-bin was touching his hair. When he opened his eyes, he saw the pot of flour she gave him. It was a great morning for him. Though he was almost hit by a car, he was still happy thinking of the kiss. Yeo-jun smiled and believed it would be a lucky day. The spring festival was coming. The school board was full of posters. Youngran pinned photos of drunk Young-ho and his friends to make them pay for the drinks. Young-ho took it off. He didn't know that Yeo-jun didn't pay for them. After that, they came up with a plan to make Yeo-jun pay. As for Yeo-jun, he couldn't contact So-bin. He was really nervous because he didn't know her phone battery was running out. So-bin borrowed Chan-ki's charge, but he didn't bring it along. Chan-ki wanted them to be as close as they were before. Yeo-jun interrupted their conversation. He was like a powerful boyfriend, pulling his girl away from another guy, trying to act as usual. Sobin expressed her confusion. She thought Jun wouldn't care about her kiss, so she made an excuse to leave. In a corner, Sobin reflected on the time she spent with Jun. She finally realized her feelings for him. Jun was already behind her. Sobin's love confession made him smile. His crush also had feelings for him. He then had the right to hug her. Sobin hugged him back, giving herself a chance to be happy. They could hold hands comfortably without caring about the other's idle talk. The school festival was very lively. Miju was interested in fortune told. The fortune teller had said her crush was a lady killer, but she didn't think so. She was said to have a one-sided love. The fortune teller succeeded in luring Miju to buy an amulet to separate her crush from his best friend of the opposite sex. She gave Miju a ring pop candy and told her to give her crush's friend. Then her crush would be separated from his friend of opposite sex, if Miju didn't want to. There was another boy waiting for her on a bench to the west. Miju bought the ring pop candy as she only needed Soo-hyun. A moment later, Chan-ki, Jun, Sobin, and Miju were watching Youngran's performance. Chan-ki was confused when she broke a pile of bricks. The love birds were excited when she smashed a walnut and a glass bottle with her hand. She broke a watermelon and a pineapple into halves. A trap boy like Chan-ki was afraid of her. When Soo-hyun and Youngran played the game Say the Same Thing, they could give the same answers. It proved that how close they were together. Miju noted down Soo-hyun's favorite dishes and hobbies. After the game, she gave Young-ra the ring pop candy. Youngran was off sweet things so that Miju had to eat it by herself. Something unfortunate was coming. Soo-hyun didn't want to play a game with Miju despite her insistence. Youngran played the game with Miju and it made Miju embarrassed. In the afternoon, the potential singers would have a chance to sing. The teacher made Soo-hyun the representative of the faculty, because the winner would get an award, but his voice made the audience laugh out loud. Jun decided to save the day. He sang a love song for Sobin. Soo-hyun sat between two girls, feeling embarrassed. He wanted to leave. Miju asked him to hang out with her. Youngran took him away first. The love birds also met the fortune teller. She said they wouldn't be together for a long time. Sobin soon would come back to her first love. Feeling something wrong, they decided to take off the fortune teller's mask, as they thought it was Chan-ki. Miju decided to listen to the fortune teller when Soo-hyun rejected her love. Walking to the west, she saw Chan-ki sitting there. Miju went away because she didn't like him. Chan-ki was there waiting for his destiny. He threw the ring pop candy to try his luck. Chan-ki ran away with fear when Youngran picked it up. It was Soo-hyun's birthday. Soo-hyun and Jun were invited to Sobin's room. When the door was open, the girls celebrated his birthday. Jun gave Sobin a bouquet. Miju also returned to the room. She couldn't keep her eyes out of Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun was so shy when they gave him a sudden birthday party. He didn't want them to smear a cake on his face. Miju volunteered to take it for him. She also sang the most loudly. After Soo-hyun blew the candle, Sobin and Youngran pushed his face into the birthday cake. They even took photo of his smeared face. Youngran asked everyone to play True or Dare. Soo-hyun didn't want to tell about himself nor lie to everyone, so he was about to leave. Youngran didn't let him go. When the bottle pointed at Soo-hyun, Ju asked how many friends he had. Soo-hyun said he had 5 friends. Youngran couldn't accept it when she was no longer his only friend. As for Jun, he thought he was also Soo-hyun's friend. However, Soo-hyun didn't really consider him a friend. Youngran posed a question to Soo-hyun when seeing him off. Would you date the one you love? Soo-hyun said no. In the dorm, there was a girl couldn't take her eyes off his photo. Miju felt that she couldn't be in a one-sided lover anymore. She ran after Soo-hyun, however, she couldn't speak it out. So she just gave him a lollipop. Late at night, the school festival was still vibrant, with eye-catching food vendors. Jun and Sobin let the crowd know they were a couple of love birds. For his girlfriend, rich kid Jun was willing to work as a waiter. Young-ho and Cheong-kook didn't have money to pay for their meals. As soon as they saw Jun, they came up with an idea to use him to attract more people to buy their juice. They even made Jun their representative without asking for his agreement. How unlucky they were. Jun refused to help them. Jun returned to the stand, but Sobin wasn't there. Sobin was talking on the phone somewhere else. She was extremely happy to continue working as a professor's secretary. It was Jun's brother who accepted her to be his secretary. Sobin didn't know they were brothers, so she happily told Jun about that. He didn't want his girlfriend to work for his brother. Knowing he had something on his mind, Sobin wanted him to share with her. However, he grew cross and left her alone. Sobin felt very empty, and blamed herself for not reliable enough. Without Jun, Young-ho couldn't sell his juice, so he carried out Plan B. which was to use the reputation of Yeo Jun's girlfriend, as soon as they saw Sobin. They immediately kept her at their stand. Yeo Jun's female fans looked at her as a prey. They put she in the line of fire. A friend saw this and immediately told Yeo Jun about it. He immediately ran back to rescue his lover. Yeo Jun couldn't stand it when his girlfriend was bullied. He lashed out at Young-ho and Cheon-kook, then threw money at them. Cheon-kook gave him back with a punch, which reminded Yeo Jun of his dark childhood. He stood up and challenged Cheon-kook. Young-ho stopped his friends from beating Yeo Jun up. Yeo Jun held Esbin's hand in front of his fans, affirming her position in his heart. Walking to a quiet place, Yeo Jun tiredly said this was his true self, a traumatized boy, so that he was afraid of not being able to protect her. Sobin accepted this version of Yeo Jun. They kissed and made up. Soo-hyun was handing out leaflets. Soo-hyun was distributing leaflets, but as soon as he received a phone call hearing that Yeo Jun was beaten, he ran back to the school. He attacked on Young-ho and Cheon-kook as a revenge for Yeo Jun. Yeo Jun and Sobin already made up with each other. This time, Sobin wanted to take him home. They talked a while outside of the building. Finally, Sobin got in to treat Yeo Jun's wound. He coddled himself and asked her to stroke his hair. That night, he slept on sofa. Sobin wanted to stroke his hair. Remembering that he said she knew nothing about his life, she decided to leave. Actually, Yeo Jun didn't sleep. He also realized that he was gradually pushing her away. Checking on his phone, he saw a missed call from Soo-hyun. Yeo Jun called him back. Soo-hyun hung up the phone when he heard Yeo Jun was okay. However, Yeo Jun was still very happy to be cared by the person he considered his brother. The next morning, Yeo Jun had a severe fever. Sobin heard it and quickly came to a pharmacy for buying medicine. As usual, Yeo Jun was alone with his illness. From then on, he had Sobin and it was so good. He still smiled and talked about the cute nickname he gave her. Sobin hit her phone when he asked her about his nickname. Yeo Jun eventually snatched the phone. His nickname was 21st Course Freshman. Outsiders might think she was his assistant professor. He took the medicine that she gave him. Sobin got a call. Yeo Jun saw the number and knew it was his brother. He decided to tell her Junwan was his brother. Yeo Jun had an obsession because Junwan beat him up when he was small. That was why he didn't want his girlfriend to work with his brother. Sobin was all ears. Then he comforted him. Sobin kept getting close to him though he didn't want her to be infected. He pulled her into his lap and it made her felt so hot. Returning to the dorm, her roommates helped her read tarot. While finding for a book to read, Yeo Jun found Soo-hyun's notebook. Yeo Jun asked to see Soo-hyun, yet he refused, so Yeo Jun decided to keep the notebook. Leaving him in awe, Young-ran said Yeo Jun was the first one to make Soo-hyun meddle in someone's affairs. She decided to buy him a coffee. As soon as she left, Mi-ju came. Soo-hyun refused to give her his phone number. Young-ran came back and saw Mi-ju was leaving. Soo-hyun told her everything when she asked. Young-ran wanted him to give himself a chance to be loved. Soo-hyun didn't have time and energy to date anyone. As he couldn't do anything for her, he decided not to confess his love to her. What he said stunned her. Soo-hyun was very calm because it was bygone. Speaking of Yeo Jun, he really changed a lot by refusing to socialize and help bad friends. He strongly faced the bullies. When Cheon-kook heard that Yeo Jun denounced him to the police, he threatened to bring along Soo-hyun to jail, because Soo-hyun caused him a wound. Yeo Jun looked scary more than ever. He warned Cheon-kook not to do anything to Soo-hyun. Back to the class, Cheon-kook kept talking behind Soo-hyun. Not until he mentioned Yeo Jun, Soo-hyun reacted to it. He turned around and talked back to them. Cheon-kook said Yeo Jun was a liar. He lied to them that Soo-hyun was living with him to refuse them. Soo-hyun affirmed that he was living with Yeo Jun. Yeo Jun thanked Soo-hyun for helping him revenge on Cheon-kook. Soo-hyun was shy and didn't know how to explain. Soo-min called and told Soo-hyun that their mother was suffering from a severe back pain. The surgery was too expensive, so she didn't take it. Despite that she would got gammy knees, Yeo Jun sighed. He had no choice but to work hard to earn money to take care of his mother. At this time, two girls who had a crush on him grabbing a drink together. They both admitted their one-sided love for Soo-hyun. Mi-ju made a plan with Young-ran. They decided to confess their love to him and let him choose one of them. At least, they could express their feelings. Love is a concern for girls and economic pressure is a problem for boys. Soo-hyun asked for a leave of absence from school to prevent the worst case. Soo-min went to the school to find Soo-hyun. He felt so sorry when his brother had to sleep in a repository. Soo-min wanted to drop school to help Soo-hyun earn money. Soo-hyun loudly said he earned money to take care of Soo-min. If Soo-min dropped school, his efforts would be meaningless. Soo-min left when he didn't know what to do. he was stopped by Yeo Jun. A moment later, Soo-hyun got a news that his younger brother had enough money for their mother's surgery. He sighed knowing he owed Yeo Jun a favor. However, he didn't dare to call him. For the sake of his mother, he set aside his sense of shame. He accepted Yeo Jun's help. To earn enough money to pay Yeo Jun, Soo-hyun handed in the withdrawal form. Instead of approving it, the teacher bought Soo-hyun a meal. Then he shared that he dropped out of school 3 times due to his poverty. It wasn't because of shame. It was because his ego was too high to accept help from others. Soo-hyun was told to accept the help, to overcome difficulties, and he could repay those who helped him when he was successful. Soo-hyun finally opened his heart. After the meal, he wanted to see Yeo Jun. Yeo Jun thought Soo-hyun was angry when he interfered with Soo-hyun's family affairs. This time Soo-hyun humbled himself to thank Yeo Jun. Then he talked about the stress he had suffered so far. Yeo Jun also shared about his painful life. Yeo Jun was also very pathetic, so he hoped Soo-hyun wouldn't have low self-esteem. On the way back, they both believed that their misfortune would end soon. About the girls, Mi-ju wants So-bin to help her get closer to Soo-hyun. It was easier for Youngran. She just needed to call Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun sat nodding by the table. So-bin stopped Yeo Jun from waking him up. After class, she gave him her notebook. Soo-hyun bought them a meal as a thanks. He felt ashamed when they chose cheap dishes. Mi-ju showed up and So-bin asked her to join. Sitting next to Soo-hyun, Mi-ju took a chance to ask him for a talk. After the meal, she confessed her love to him. Mi-ju sat slumped in dejection when he rejected her love. Soo-hyun didn't know how to comfort her. Living in the repository for a while, Soo-hyun had to leave. At night, Yeo Jun went on a date with So-bin. Yeo Jun showed her Soo-hyun's notebook. They opened it and read the note of the day when Soo-hyun would end his own life. Coincidentally, it was today. Yeo Jun received an amount of money from him. Getting worried, he searched around for Soo-hyun. And even mistook someone for him. Actually, Soo-hyun wasn't that stupid. He just found a grassy area to sleep. During his dream, he met his late father. They gave each other an embrace. Finally, Soo-hyun could let himself cry. Yeo Jun found him when he woke up. He was extremely happy because Soo-hyun was okay. Seeing Soo-hyun's luggage, Yeo Jun said they could live with each other, making his lie the truth. Soo-hyun seemed to have hope for life again, almost burst into tears because he was touched. This time he did not refuse Yeo Jun anymore. To celebrate it, Yeo Jun prepared a hearty meal which embarrassed Soo-hyun, but all confusion disappeared when Soo-hyun had a bite. The meal was too expensive for him. Yeo Jun didn't care. He just needed a roommate. Temporarily, Soo-hyun slept on the sofa. Yeo Jun carefully covered him with a blanket. Then he sent an apology to So-bin for leaving her alone earlier. Meanwhile, So-bin was having a late meal with her roommates. Mi-ju was extremely sad. Youngran knew why, so she gave Mi-ju an embrace of comfort. Couldn't sleep, Mi-ju decided to confide in Youngran that Soo-hyun rejected her love. Youngran admitted to witness it. She admired Mi-ju for daring to confess her love. Youngran couldn't do the same as she was afraid of losing a friend. The next day, So-bin and Soo-hyun had a class together. She asked him about the life with Yeo Jun. Soo-hyun felt extremely confused, because Yeo Jun prepared expensive breakfast for him every day. The price made him choke. He asked So-bin to convince Yeo Jun to stop buying him expensive food all day. Yeo Jun even washed and folded clothes for Soo-hyun. He even hung Soo-hyun's panties with a balloon to tease him. Yeo Jun had different designs of white shirt. Soo-hyun thought Yeo Jun for wasting his time. On the campus, they saw Yeo Jun coming to school. Soo-hyun waved back to him. Professor Song was still flirting with Junwan. Junwan frankly said she was much older than him. It made Song feel so ashamed. As soon as she left, he watched the video. When Yeo Jun was beaten at the Spring Festival, though he tried to calm himself down, the anger was clearly shown in his face, so he asked So-bin why he got beaten. So-bin admitted that she knew they were brothers. Yeo Jun got beaten when trying to protect her. Junwan was really surprised when So-bin said Yeo Jun admitted to be his brother. After that, So-bin told Yeo Jun about Junwan's worry about him. Yeo Jun thought he was pretending. So-bin wanted to go to the sea to make Yeo Jun happy and he agreed. Park CJ seemed to like Professor Song, yet, she didn't like him back. She erased the passage she copied from So-bin's assignment. After class, So-bin encountered Chan-ki. He wanted them to be close as they were before, yet, she didn't want the same. In the morning, Chan-ki required Yeo Jun to protect her and not to make her cry. Those words were superfluous as So-bin was Yeo Jun's girlfriend. No need anyone to remind, he would protect her for sure. Nevertheless, Yeo Jun couldn't be with her all the time. Cheon-kook followed after So-bin and grabbed her arm in a desert corner, which scared her. He wanted to apologize to her on behalf of Haiji and Young-ho for bullying her many times. With such an excuse, he took her to a room. Believing that the other two were coming, So-bin waited there, without knowing that Cheon-kook was going live. He wanted to defame her as a revenge on Yeo-jun. Young-ho saw the live stream and got panicked by Cheon-kook's desperation. When Yeo-jun passed by, So-bin was in a live stream. Losing his temper, he loudly asked where she was. On the way to where she was, Yeo-jun gave her a call. Cheon-kook snatched her phone. They struggled with each other. He caught So-bin when she tried to get out of there. Yeo-jun broke the door to get in. He dealt him a tremendous blow. Suddenly, he recalled his childhood when he was beaten. That was why he couldn't beat anyone. He spared him, but Cheon-kook didn't. Luckily, Young-ran came and gave Cheon-kook a kick. Following her were two security guards who dragged Cheon-kook away. Yeo-jun and So-bin were safe. Cheon-kook might be sent to jail. Young-ran came there in time thanks to Young-ho, who seemed to acknowledge his fault. He called her Nuna and asked her to help him read tarot. Young-ran picked up a card as a sign of good love relationship. Elsewhere, So-bin was treating Yeo-jun's wound. She said sorry for getting him involved. He didn't blame her. She was put in danger because of his conflict with Cheon-kook. Jun-won was waiting for Yeo-jun to come home. He told Yeo-jun to fight back when anyone dared to hit him, yet, Yeo-jun didn't think so. As he had suffered Jun-won's blows when he was small, he would still be like that. That upset Jun-won. He seemed to have something to tell Yeo-jun. Yeo-jun had a nightmare after seeing his brother. He hugged his cushion with tremble. When Soo-hyun returned, he heard a groan from Yeo-jun's room. Seeing Yeo-jun huddled himself up in a corner, Soo-hyun was about to clap him on the shoulder. He comforted Yeo-jun with words. The following day, So-bin dressed up for a date with Yeo-jun, but he called it off notwithstanding. So-bin worriedly went to his home and saw him trembling on the bed. She really wanted to know what happened to him. Yeo-jun once said he didn't want to share too much about his life, so that she just left. So-bin was upset when she couldn't help her boyfriend with anything. Chan-ki was worried when she teared up. Chan-ki felt useless when she didn't share with him what happened to her. When he was young, he promised her mother to protect her. Nevertheless, he didn't know how to protect her, feeling too bored. He got himself drunk. A moment later, he saw Young-ran sat on the bench next by. He struck a conversation with her. Fortunately, she didn't punch him when he flirted with her. The next morning, Soo-hyun told Yeo-jun that So-bin came to see him the previous night. He headed out to find her. So-bin saw him but didn't want to talk. Yeo-jun apologized to her and explained that he got into a trouble so that he couldn't go out with her. He didn't want to let her see his weakness. So-bin gave him an embrace of comfort. This semester, teacher Park CJ wanted to organize an MT. Its topic was youth. Unfortunately, no students registered for it. After a few days, while he was walking with Professor Song, Young-ran saw the announcement of the MT and asked So-bin to join with her. So-bin called for Miju and Yeo-jun. Yeo-jun persuaded Soo-hyun to join them. Young-ran also called for Chan-ki. Eventually, 6 people gathered around for the MT. Teacher Park gave Soo-hyun his bank card. They could spend it on the credit card. Professor Song also joined them. The game would be fun if Yeo-jun didn't have recalled his dark childhood. Who folded all his fingers would lose the game. When Chan-ki asked the boys if their crushes were there, 3 of them folded their fingers. Soo-hyun was extremely shy, so he asked Teacher Park to play another game. Park said they could pour their hair out and the fire would burn their grief. Park had a deep sadness in his heart when his girlfriend died of a fatal disease. Yeo-jun had an obsession when his brother beat him up when he was small. His brother told him their parents didn't deserve their parentage. Yeo-jun remembered what his brother said. Jun-won locked himself in a room and said sorry to him in tears. Yeo-jun told Soo-hyun that he was scared of having a false memory. Soo-hyun encouraged Yeo-jun to find for the truth. In the same night, he returned to Seoul to find his brother. It was his father, not Jun-won, who always beat him. Yeo-jun could not accept that he had blamed his brother so far. It was the first time Jun-won said sorry to him. He was also a victim of their father, who made Jun-won to live the way he wanted. Therefore, Jun-won didn't know how to care for Yeo-jun, so he told Yeo-jun not to consider them his family. Only when he deferred to their parents' wish, they would leave Yeo-jun alone. Yeo-jun thanked his brother in tears. Jun-won had always protected him. Eventually, they could smile at each other. It helped Yeo-jun ease his burden. Life seemed to be easier. Speaking of youth, we each receive advices from teachers, confide in our friends, or toss and turn all night because of love, wondering if our crushes liked us back. Though we're worried about our lovers, we daren't to bother them. Living together for a while, Soo-hyun acquired the habit of Yeo-jun's polished style. Yeo-jun made him care for himself more when Yeo-jun came to school. So-bin was so sad when she couldn't help her boyfriend with anything. Yeo-jun apologized for making her worry. He said the relationship with his brother got better, his life was thriving. During Professor Song's class, the lovebirds kept speaking high of Soo-hyun, which made Professor Song curious about him. Soo-hyun was too shy to talk. During break, Young-ho and his friend made peace with Yeo-jun. He didn't bear a grudge. As soon as So-bin came, he was too happy to let it pass. Three of them went out together after school. Mi-ju went to see Soo-hyun again. She wanted to know if he had a crush on Young-ran. Soo-hyun didn't say anything, but she could read his mind. Mi-ju decided to give up on him. Before that, she wanted to let him know. The reason she liked him was because that day at the convenience store, he didn't pay attention to her misery, which gave her a feeling of safety. Finishing her words, she gave him her drawing of his portrait as a goodbye. So-bin wanted to have a meal at Yeo-jun's place. However, as soon as the two arrived at the door, they encountered Yeo-jun's mother. The woman clearly expressed her discomfort with her son's girlfriend. Yeo-jun said sorry to So-bin for canceling their meal. He went up with his mother. He knew that this woman came to find him because she was feeling tired. She needed someone to venge her rage upon, and when she knew Yeo-jun was no longer longing for her care, she began to lose temper. She came there to find for Junwan, because he was missing for a couple of days, shouting at her. Yeo-jun didn't want her to bother Junwan, and she went out of her mind. Yeo-jun saw the bruises on her arm left by her husband. She begged him not to tell anyone and left. Yeo-jun called his brother. Junwan had known for a long time that his mother was abused. He couldn't help because she chose such a life. Yeo-jun had Junwan beside him, no longer suffering alone. He could share with his brother from then on. Soo-hyun's father in his memories was a man who can protect society. However, he failed to protect his own family. After his father's death, his family was in misery. He and his younger brother had to drop out of school. Yeo-jun's father maltreated his family. He wanted everyone to do as he wished. Yeo-jun regretted about misunderstanding his brother. A successful son was his father's pride. Hearing about Yeo-jun, Yeo Myung-hoon ordered his driver to keep a watch on him. But when the driver saw Junwan, he no longer followed after Yeo-jun. Young-ran was so fool that she didn't know Soo-hyun had feelings for her. She even thought Soo-hyun was dating Mi-ju. She had no choice but to confide in the professor. The professor encouraged her to confess her love. Thanks to the encouragement, she ran to find Soo-hyun. When she found him, she asked him for a run. Not only Yeo-jun had a problem with his mother. So-bin was also obsessed with her mother, who abandoned her at the age of 8. She didn't know what to do when her mother suddenly called her. Yeo-jun held So-bin's hand. He wanted them to let go of the pain in the past, building their own new happiness together, a kiss as a promise of their future. He invited her home for a barbecue party. Soo-hyun was stunned at the hearty meal, calculating the money he daren't to digest. With moral support from Yeo-jun, So-bin finally had the motivation to go find her mother. Actually, she didn't hate her. She knew her mother left because of her pain. They apologized each other. It reconciled a conflict. After all, she threw herself into his embrace. They were destined to heal each other. They were stopped by Mr. Yeo's driver while going to the lecture hall hand in hand. Chairman Yeo wanted Yeo-jun to get home. He had no choice but to let go of So-bin's hand. Going to work, So-bin let Junwan know that Yeo-jun was asked to get home. Junwan returned home immediately. He recalled his childhood, when he collected evidences of his father's domestic violence, and threatened him not to abuse Yeo-jun anymore. In return, he would become a perfect man as Chairman Yeo's wish. As long as he let Yeo-jun alone, Yeo-jun was facing his evil father. He didn't care when Yeo-jun was beaten. On the contrary, he blamed Yeo-jun for affecting Junwan's career. Yeo refused to return home and live under his father's control. Chairman Yeo stood up and asked Yeo-jun to get in the punishment room. Junwan tried to drive as fast as possible. At home, Yeo-jun trembled when his father threw him into the dark room. He rolled up his sleeves and started to venge his anger upon Yeo-jun. Junwan crazily pounded away at the door. When he opened the door, he saw his father was about to hit Yeo-jun with a trophy. Mr. Yeo got scared when Junwan stared at him. Junwan asked Yeo-jun to get out. He grabbed Mr. Yeo by his collar. Junwan sold his life to him in exchange for his brother's safety. After all, Mr. Yeo didn't keep his words. Junwan shoved him to the table. Their mother kept slamming the door. When Yeo-jun was young, every time his brother locked himself in his room, his mother gave no care to Yeo-jun's existence. She didn't change at all. She was calling for someone to help Junwan. So-bin called Soo-hyun as she couldn't reach Yeo-jun on the phone. Soo-hyun had no idea about Yeo-jun. Junwan drove Yeo-jun to his apartment. He decided to destroy their father's reputation and exposed his guilt. Failing to protect Yeo-jun made him regret the most. Yeo-jun promised his brother to live well. Junwan wished Yeo-jun would do what he wanted and stayed with the one he loved. Getting out of his miserable childhood, Yeo-jun saw his brother off. Coming home, he cried like a child. Soo-hyun didn't know what to do but hug Yeo-jun. Yeo-jun locked himself at home for several days. So-bin did not receive any calls from him. Despite her anxiety, she didn't dare to call him. Her mind was blank during class. After school, Soo-hyun waited for So-bin to get to Yeo-jun's home. He knew she would be lonely without Yeo-jun. When they were going there, Yeo-jun appeared. He hugged So-bin and told her how much he missed her. She didn't blame him. So-bin and Soo-hyun helped Yeo-jun note down the lessons. So-bin forced him to choose between her notes and Soo-hyun's. He couldn't make a choice. Finally, he took both. So-bin received a call from Junwan. While waiting for her, Yeo-jun talked to Soo-hyun. Yeo-jun wasn't ashamed of crying in front of Soo-hyun, because he saw Soo-hyun crying. They both felt lucky to meet one another. Thanks to this, they changed their thoughts of their relationships. Seeing Cheon-kook, Yeo-jun wanted to handle him alone. After being legally punished, Cheon-kook acknowledged his fault and apologized to Yeo-jun. He would drop out of school as he was too ashamed to get there. Yeo-jun forgave Cheon-kook. However, he persuaded Cheon-kook not to quit school. He could continue going to school with them. Cheon-kook was moved to tears. Their conflict was resolved. Cheon-kook befriended Young-ho again. Coming into the class, Cheon-kook said sorry to So-bin in front of all the classmates. He knelt down and spoke loudly to show his sincerity. So-bin was embarrassed and covered his mouth. She affirmed that she had forgiven him. Before the end of the semester, Teacher Park assigned a group exercise. The groups remained the same. Soo-hyun wanted a meeting after the class. Cheon-kook wanted to buy them a meal as an apologize. So-bin agreed with him. The others didn't oppose. Soo-hyun could integrate with them. Relationships were magical. Those who once hated each other were having fun together. The next day at school, Soo-hyun encountered Young-ran. She said she was going on a blind date to test him. His encouragement annoyed her. She confided in Chan-ki. Both of them couldn't let go of their crushes. So they decided to call each other when they felt empty. Yeo-jun's father was denounced on the internet. He lost his family and career. No one was by his side. Chairman Yeo couldn't accept it when his perfect family was ruined. He got himself dead drunk. Getting angry, he went to find Yeo-jun, which scared Yeo-jun to death. Couldn't bear it anymore. Yeo-jun loudly blamed his father for everything. Yeo-jun parried blows by his father. No longer a weak boy, Yeo-jun turned very strong. Mr. Yeo addressed his fault and went to find his oldest son. He bet his life on a rich life so that he tried so hard to keep it. Junwan claimed it was his father's selfishness. He wanted too much to handle. That was why he lost everything. When Young-ran felt missing Soo-hyun, he called Chan-ki. At the same time, he was also trying to call her. Failing to call him, Young-ran went back to the dorm and had a drink with So-bin. On the other hand, Teacher Park began to pay a notice to the assistant professor. Professor Song was a little bit jealous. Cheon-kook changed in a positive way. He cared for So-bin and refused to take Haiji's pocket money. On the day of presentation, the other group's slide was creative. Soo-hyun wasn't confident enough to rank number 1. Yeo-jun suggested that in order to increase the presentation's impression, they would find a famous student to join them. He meant Ms. Kim from the Faculty of Journalism. Soo-hyun thought the topic of youth wouldn't impress Teacher Park, while Yeo-jun believed it would be impressive enough. The group was still divided in their views. Soo-hyun and Yeo-jun were confused when they came home. They wanted to make peace. However, Soo-hyun made an excuse to use the toilet first. Yeo-jun decided to choose a way to make peace by cooking delicious tteokbokki. Soo-hyun really wanted to taste it. However, they still argued about the topic of the presentation. Next morning at school, So-bin was too confused to do something. Soo-hyun received a phone call, so he left first. Soo-min came to see him. He gave Soo-hyun their father's diary. Soo-min claimed that he was old enough to earn money to pay his tuition fee. He hoped Soo-hyun could become a policeman as he wished. Soo-hyun read the diary and remembered when he was a middle schooler, his father took a photo of him in a police uniform. The photo was attached in the diary. At the same time, Yeo-jun also received a phone call from his father. He told So-bin to go first. Yeo-jun looked so worried, and he wanted to talk with Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun asked him to join the group meeting first so he couldn't say it out. This time, Yeo-jun wanted to combine their ideas. Each member would tell about both sad and happy memories of their youth. Soo-hyun took the first turn, Young-ho and then Cheon-kook. Sobin also told her stories. Haiji also let them know about her sufferings. Everyone stared at Yeo-jun, who always hid everything about him, but this time, Yeo-jun wanted to express all his feelings. He was abused by his father and none of his family members recognized him. Finding true friends was like the light of his life. Soo-hyun decided to help Yeo-jun write the report as a reward for Yeo-jun's change. Yeo-jun wanted to write by himself and they fought for the laptop the whole night. The group finally completed the report. Everyone was very satisfied. Instead of a simple presentation, they decided to make a short video of youth. Ms. Kim was a symbol of beautiful youth. They made a beautiful scene of youth while working together. On behalf of the group, Yeo-jun talked about the bright and dark side of youth. Soo-hyun realized that Ms. Kim was the female version of him. That meant Yeo-jun really cared for Soo-hyun. They stayed side by side during the tough time. Soo-hyun made Yeo-jun, who lacked of parents' love, feel the warmth. Yeo-jun helped Soo-hyun regain his emotions. The sincerity of the presentation touched the hearts of his classmates and teachers. Sobin showed the video when Young-ho, Cheong-kook, and Haiji contributed to the exercise. She wanted to show the teacher that the whole group worked hard and they each deserved the same high score. Their group's presentation ranked first. Professor Song decided to fire the one who stole Sobin's assignment. Then she wished her assistant a happy wedding, mistaking that her assistant was going to marry Teacher Park. Song was pretty sad. She had a talk with Teacher Park. Teacher Park once tried to conquer Song's heart, but she didn't grab the chance. Teacher Park was confused, because he didn't give up on her. Professor Song was happy with that, so she asked him out for a meal. The group of students were having a meal together, celebrating their successful presentation. Soo-hyun poured his heart out. He considered Yeo-jun his brother long ago. He woke Yeo-jun up every morning and cleaned the toilet. On the way to school, he helped Yeo-jun review the lessons. Everyone finally realized that Soo-hyun also had emotions. Getting drunk, they each bared their souls to each other. After the party, Sobin encountered Chan-ki on the way home. He came to say goodbye one last time before joining the army. Chan-ki first let Sobin see his weakness. Actually, she wanted to make up with Chan-ki for a long time. They hugged each other for a last time. Chan-ki counted to 3 then ran away to hide his tears. On the other side, Young-ran was confessing her love to Soo-hyun. She missed a chance before, and she was willing to be his best friend. After that, she and Chan-ki ran around the soccer field to relieve themselves when letting go of their first loves. Yeo-jun and Soo-hyun walked home together. They talked together in a silent night. Soo-hyun first expressed his intention. After the summer vacation, he would take his mother to Seoul. Yeo-jun was a little sad because he would not be able to live with him anymore. Soo-hyun cracked Yeo-jun up with his jokes. The new semester began after 2 months. They were still in the same class. However, Soo-hyun accidentally dropped his cup of coffee on Yeo-jun's shoes. Yeo-jun imitated Soo-hyun back then. When Sobin came with her coffee, they stopped acting. When Young-ran was dozing off, Soo-hyun put a bottle of vitamin next to her. Life seemed like a circle. They seemed to be on the starting point. Their love seemed to be a spring breeze. It blew someone's scent of hair in the air. You can be anyone, the full flush of youth, or you might be a weirdo in someone's eyes. Your smile is still the best thing of your youth. Don't hide yourself. Connect with good friends. This is the beautiful youth story of Yeo-jun, Sobin and Soo-hyun. The end. Like and subscribe for more hyperphysical TV series. Goodbye and see you next time.